Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. We'll begin at 2 o'clock. We're just waiting for others to join us.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Good, good afternoon, everyone. My name's Elizabeth Ayala
Hello.
Johnson. I'm with the Office of Contracting and Procurement. This is the request for applications pre-application conference for 185550 Entrepreneurial Training Program Consultant. So if you're here for that opportunity, you're in the right place.
Fantastic.
I'm continuing to admit people, but we're going to respect everyone's time and continue moving forward. Our agenda for this afternoon, going to give you an overview. We'll have welcome and introductions. Each of you who are on this call will have an opportunity to identify yourself, indicate the organization that you represent, and indicate whether or not your organization is looking to submit an application for this process. Um, I will go over some technical information with you related to this particular opportunity. The request for application timeline overview that I will mention is not project specific. The timeline I'll be speaking about will be from the solicitation through when we anticipate having a contract. We will have a representative from the Housing and Revitalization Department who will provide background information to this project and a description of needs. That is um, the expectations that the department is looking for with this opportunity solicitation. You will be able to ask questions after he completes his presentation, and I will then identify for you and virtually show you the documents that we look to have you complete and submit in order to have a viable submission for this opportunity. We'll then open for a general question and answer period. There may be specific questions during that time that Mr. Nietzsche is able to provide as it relates to the project. If you have general questions related to the request for application or some of the items that the Office of Contracting and Procurement is looking to receive from you, you may ask those at that time. We did have a pre-question period, but we did not receive any questions from those of you who are interested in this opportunity um, uh, initially. You will have an opportunity to continue submitting questions up to and through April the 22nd. We then will post answers to those additional questions by April the 24th, and then we will look to receive your applications uh, after that time up to the point of the cutoff in our Oracle system. And I will say that the Oracle system, it's mechanical. It's not it's not human driven. So that means that when the okay, I'm gonna mute some of you because we're getting interference. So if you're able to mute yourself, please do that. If you're not, then I'll just mute everybody. So I'm going to mute everybody this time. So if you do have during the question period question that you'd like to ask, just unmute yourself and at that appropriate time ask your question. If you know you have background noise, um, do what you can to minimize that so we don't get that negative feedback. All right, and then at the end of this period, I've asked our e-procurement team, a representative from our e-procurement team who is with us, that's Cedric McCree. Cedric's going to take us through a brief walkthrough demonstration of how to navigate in Oracle. And for those of you who are not yet registered in the Oracle system, he will show you um, how you need to take steps to get registered. So we're only receiving um, applications via Oracle. So that means that everyone should have a supplier profile in Oracle because you've registered and you're submitting your interest in this opportunity, the application documents through Oracle. So that's a brief overview of our agenda for today. And I am recording this meeting. This meeting will be available for you to review um, on YouTube. If you're taking notes, you want to refresh your memory, I will ask you to not use the those digital electronic meeting notes for this opportunity. As I said, we are recording it. We'll make it available to you via YouTube. I will send you the link once we get that posted so that you will be able to go back and review any information that you feel that you would like to before the time of submission. So I'm going to read verbatim what is on the screen, and that is, this call is being recorded. Please state your name, the company/organization that you represent when you are unmuted. All potential respondents are encouraged to ask questions. You may enter them into the chat at any time. All verbal responses to questions provided today are unofficial until documented in writing as an official response in the Oracle RFA 18555 supplier portal. You may submit additional questions in the Oracle RFA 18555 supplier portal, and we will respond to all potential respondents via the Oracle Messages supplier portal. So that means that if you have questions and we get written responses from either the Office of Contracting and Procurement or the Housing and Revitalization Department, that means we will develop what we call a question and answer document. That Q&A will be posted and sent to all suppliers who are participants through Oracle in this opportunity. And if we have updates because we continue to get questions up to and through the question deadline, we will provide those questions. We prefer to do what we call rolling questions. So that means that you do not have to wait until April 22nd to submit written questions. If you're going through the request for application and those documents, you may submit questions through the Oracle Messages system for this request for application at any point in time up until the question deadline, which is April 22nd, 3 p.m. Again, we will post the answers to those questions as we receive them, typically within 1 to 2 business days. We do not work on the weekend. Our e-procurement team is not going to be available on the weekend. So that means that if you submit questions on a Friday, we will post those questions at least by Monday of that following week. So I read that required piece. As an overview, we advertised this opportunity on March 31st, 2025. As I said, questions are due in Oracle by 3 p.m. on April 22nd, 2025. Answers will be posted by April 24th, 3 p.m., 2025. Proposals are due in Oracle April 28th, 2025 at 4 o'clock. So I'll encourage you, if you're a new user to our system, to become familiar with Oracle. And even though we're going to do a demonstration at the end of the session, you may submit, excuse me, a practice um, submission in Oracle at any point to be sure that you're familiar with the process. You then are able to go back and revise that submission, and you can do those revisions as many times as you choose up until and before 4 p.m. April 28th, 2025. So let me say, I know sometimes people procrastinate or things come up and interfere with you being able to make a timely submission. But with the documents that I've mentioned to you are due, you will not be able to successfully upload all of those documents if you start your submission at 3:55 on April the 28th. I will tell you, it will be impossible for you to submit all of the documents that we are asking you to submit and verify that your submission was received if you wait until 3:55 on April the 28th to make that submission. So I strongly recommend that if you're able to get your application together, that you submit your application as soon as you feel that it is complete. And that can be a week before it's due, that can be over the weekend, because while we don't have humans who are able to respond to you via the Oracle system on the weekends, you can go into Oracle 24/7. It doesn't shut down until the bid is closed, and it will close promptly at 4 p.m. on April 28, 2025. Now, you may wonder why I'm spending so much time talking about these timelines. I know that many of you who are on this call are new to opportunities with the city of Detroit, and unexpected things can happen. And so I'm encouraging you to give yourself ample time to prepare your application and to make your submission. That way you don't have to feel rushed. That way, if you need some technical assistance because you've encountered a challenge, we have e-procurement specialists who are able to assist you if you are in that type of predicament or situation. So we're happy to have so many of you who are new to City of Detroit opportunities to have an interest in this particular opportunity and to be with us this afternoon. The other thing that I'm going to do now is to do a pivot. I promised you that we were going to introduce to you a representative from our Housing and Revitalization Department, and I'm going to do that at this time, introducing to you Mr. Chidi Nietzsche, and I'll let him formally introduce himself and his title to you and his connection with this particular project. So, Mr. Nietzsche, you may go right ahead. And oh, I wanted to ask you, did you want to share your presentation via the screen, or are you simply going to walk through it? Or did you want, oh, you know what, you're on mute. Or did you want me to share your document?
I think, okay, yes, I would, appreciate it if you can share the document when I get there. Again, good afternoon, everyone participating. My name is Chidi Nyeche with the Office of Immigrant Affairs and Economic Inclusion under Housing and Revitalization Department. I am the project manager for this particular solicitation, whereas Elizabeth is a buyer, and we are very grateful for what she do, and every day in keeping all of us in check.
All right. Are you able to see my screen, Chidi? Is that large enough for you, or should I increase the size?
You can increase it a little bit more.
Okay,
Um,
very good.
yeah,
How is that?
for the more, okay, okay. Yeah, a little bit more, a little bit wider.
Okay.
I don't have my glasses with me.
Ah, okay.
Okay, all right. All right, everybody, thank you again for participating in this particular meeting with our department and OCP. I'm not going to bore you with a lot of, stories because this RFP was completely very much put together with detailed information that can guide anyone that is interested in participating in the process. So begin with our Office of uh, Immigrant Affairs and Economic Inclusion is a very small unit within the department. And we've been quite in session for over 5, 6 years now. Um, we started with an office of 2 people, now have grown to office of about 11 to 12 people. We do specific assignments and even including expanding it to regular citywide operations. Um, we are charged with providing immigration services to uh, folks that are arriving into our shores and those that are immigrants that are here uh, living and thriving in the city of Detroit. The aim of this particular solicitation is to empower individuals in the informal sector with entrepreneurial skills, knowledge, and resources to enhance their economic independence, improve their business knowledge and awareness, and also to foster economic conditions within their space that they are occupying in the city of Detroit. This is a very targeted program that um, we wanted to establish after participating with other cohorts, city nationwide in 2020 and 23. We, the city of Detroit, our office, participated with National League of Cities that established this program under Kaufman Foundation. And at that time, we were able to discover through that partnership with other cities that there were entrepreneurs, that is, immigrants in several cities with good knowledge and skills for developing new businesses and operating them. But they were in hiding due to one reason or the other. But in order to bring their resources, expertise to the table within communities, National League of Cities um, um, worked with us and other cities to be able to develop this program. And the program at that time was targeted towards Kaufman Foundation Entrepreneurship Program. So we took on that challenge with them. And in so doing, the National League of Cities provided us with $15,000 to start the program. And the condition for that was that we must have a local partner that will administrate the program on behalf of the city in order for them to grant that fund to the city. So we took it up and we were able to successfully um, get the program together to completion successfully well. So that the for the 2020 and 23, we were able to bring to bear about 36 uh, businesses that participated in the cohorts that we operated. Out of that 36, 16 candidates were very successful in running through the program and completed the program, and 16 also were able to get their businesses registered with the city of Detroit and Detroit based in that regard. In terms of the program needs, again, the RFP is very specific, very clear in terms of what those needs are. Now, program design and curriculum development is just a heavy part of what this program is asking for. So we tailor the program right from the beginning, from the Kaufman Foundation Entrepreneurship Program curriculum. We did not develop the curriculum ourselves. The curriculum was handed over to us based on their funding. This is how we do or how they do things, and the cities that um, were able to participate in the program had to utilize those tools. So we are asking and encouraging any participant, if you are not aware, if you don't have a knowledge of Kaufman Foundation curriculum, please get it, because that is what this program is based on. So we look at capacity building as a very strong component of this program. And I have the bullet points in terms of, what those things looks like and how you can be able to utilize it to be successful in the program. Mentorship, a very high level, very networking, strong networking, to make sure that the candidates that you are going to be training will be able to receive, strong uh, education out of the program on how to manage their own and then grow from there. Um, come back a little bit now. When it comes to mentoring and evaluation, there must be a very strict, strong method of measuring how successful or how backward or how slow and fast, and and the competency of the team. You have to be able to develop that in sequence. The use of data in terms of measuring, again, how successful the program is in what I'm just, these are highlights that I'm just, sharing. But within the RFP document itself that you're going to be seeing online, it is fully comprehensively tailored so that, you're not going to miss your way. Expectations, um, demonstrating demonstration of experience in entrepreneurship training program is a key. You must have been able to do this in other arenas. Put it this way: whether you did it locally or as a nonprofit or with federal government, you must have that at least 3 years of experience, doing the training in order to strongly be successful. So we are expecting that to come through. Customization of uh, of the program, uh, to adapt program and to use local content or language or of any kind that with depending on what community that you are servicing. Again, the program is tailored strictly, heavily on immigrants that are in hiding, that are within our midst. We don't, we want them to be successful. We want them to be economically viable. We want them to contribute to the well-being of the community instead of becoming dependents. Um, Flexibility of the program to make sure that the program can be tailored to those people that are just new novices in the area or the people that do have advanced knowledge in terms of what they do. And then strong feedback from those experts within the community or the leadership that can be able to add value to the program. Um, Deliverables and facilitation, again, it has to be those people that do have full knowledge and training that can be able to provide the services to the candidates that will be participating in the program. So we just want to make sure that the deliverables that, we have a laundry list of deliverables within the RFP, about 12 of them, that those deliverables are met in full force. And here we're adding, some other um, um, here and there, to ensure that any individual, whether it's online or in person, or hybrid that any agency that successfully win the RFP can be able to have that process together to ensure the growth and the success of those candidates that will be participating. Um, Performance evaluation or professional and documentations. Again, we have ways of measuring success and progress. And at the end of the day, um, we tend to monitor the progress of the program, um, particularly from the side of funding from the program manager, so that we ensure that we are not going to waste our money and we are going to be able to achieve the goal and train folks together successfully well. So performance evaluation and tracking of records, very, very important. Clear reporting on progress, challenges, and outcomes becomes a part of the program that we encourage to share or to have the community folks participating. Sustainability is another area of interest. Um, yes, you can be able to train someone today, but how do we sustain the program going forward? If it is on your side that you're going to do the training, and we wonder how can the candidate or the business that you've trained, how can they be successful? Not only be successful, how can they be able to sustain their program going forward? What are the services that you're going to be providing? How are you going to be able to network them or work with them in order for them to uh, ensure that going forward, their businesses will grow, they become a part of the community economically and otherwise. Here, this family or group that we are tailoring this program to, they are a part of our community today. They will grow, they have children, they will have children, but we just don't want them to do this here and today they fall apart. We want them to grow, we want them to thrive, and we want to encourage more and more of that coming into our community. So it is critical. It's excuse me. It's critical and it's important that we follow the path. Again, um, it is just my mission to make sure that the RFP, every bit of it, every page of it, every slide of it makes sense to you and will encourage you to submit a viable application. So on that note, I'm going to leave it there and I am free for any question or questions that you may have. Thank
Very
you.
good. Thank you very much, Mr. Nietzsche. So we have a question
Sure.
from Dr. LaDonna Spite. Please go right ahead. You're muted. Ms. Spite, you're muted. Oh, you don't know how to unmute? If you're not able to use your audio to speak, you may put your questions in the chat. Okay, so the next question then we have from Carl. I see your hand raised, Carl. Go right ahead.
How are you? Good afternoon. My question is that I know that you guys are using the Kaufman Fast Track as essentially the template for this training. Is it required that vendors be certified in Kaufman Fast Track in order to deliver the training for this RFP?
Yes, it's required. And unless you have a different training curriculum or program that will ensure the same thing. Because what we have done is, utilize the curriculum according to that Kaufman Foundation uh, program curriculum. Because we have used it the first time and second time successfully well, and still, want to continue the operation with Kaufman Foundation. That was a part of the condition that was provided to the city when we started the first or the second or even the third one we attempted to do in 2004. So I will encourage any participant uh, because the program, the curriculum is very direct and very simple, and it will guide you towards what we're trying to achieve. It's just patterned, drawn, even the RFP that way.
Okay, thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank
Hello.
you. Now the
Sorry, I was able to get off.
okay, so now
I'm
you're in line, Dr. Spite. So let me go to the others who are before you. I'll get to you as I go down the
okay.
list.
Thank you.
So we now have Bobby Burton. Go right ahead with your question.
Hi. My question is, I've heard a great emphasis on this is that would be teaching immigrants. Would it be advantageous for us to bring in multilingual people? And if so, what languages do you anticipate the majority of the participants speaking?
Now here I'm going to do an interjection, an intervention. So we we gave you a background in terms of how the program began and who the initial participants of that program were, and that was an immigrant population. But we are no longer receiving grant funds to only provide services to an immigrant population. We are now using City of Detroit funds, and this program will be open to immigrants as well as Detroit residents. So persons who are residing in the city of Detroit who want to participate in this program will be able to be identified um, for participation. It is not restricted only to an immigrant population, but obviously those were our origins, and immigrants who are in the city of Detroit who are seeking entrepreneurial opportunities are welcome to join. So it's not a restricted program because we no longer are receiving grant funds that would have that restriction. So I just want to be certain that everyone understands that. We're using city funds, and therefore um, the individuals who are participating are not only immigrants. They are Detroit residents who may have an interest, as well as any others who are residing in the city of Detroit. It is restricted to persons who are living in the city of Detroit. That much I will say.
I, it, may
So,
I?
Thank you for that clarification.
okay, great.
Yep.
Go right ahead,
Go ahead,
Chief.
sir. You were starting to answer.
Yeah, yeah. Um, yes, Elizabeth, you are correct. Understand also that the city do have um, a large workforce that provides training of all kinds. Our office is targeted towards certain goals, and we are aware of the use of grant fund, which we are not utilizing at this point and at this time. We are using our general fund money to continue this program, um, and would encourage any participant to also push harder to get those people that are in hiding. Again, we are trying to solve specific problem in the space. There are a lot of people out there that are in hiding from maybe taxes or scared of their financial, their status, immigration status, and so on and so forth. So whereas we are open to having other general citizens to participate in the program, but we are just very watchful and careful about the target, the population target we are trying to achieve. I just wanted to bear that in mind. We're not refusing or stopping anybody from participating or any citizen from participating, and knowing fully well also that this, we have this a low income area that a lot of people are in need of getting the basic training that they need to thrive, to succeed, and to do businesses in the city of Detroit. That I will say I will share that much. But we are strongly encouraging that if you have or know, and how are you going to market this particular opportunity within the community so that you can get the people of that are in need that we're trying to vet in to do business in the city.
Thank
Did that answer your
you.
question, Bobby Burton?
Yes, I appreciate the clarification. So thank you.
Okay.
You're welcome.
So, Carl and Bobby Burton, if we've answered those questions, if you would lower your hands, that would be great. And we'll next go to Mitzi Rudak. I apologize if I've mispronounced your last name. And then we'll get to you, Dr. LaDonna Spite and Karen Burt.
Grateful
So,
Day.
grateful day to you.
Thank you. And you did perfectly on my name. Thank you. My question was the Kaufman Fast Track program. When I looked into it, if I'm not mistaken, it takes more time than what we have to finish the program in order to submit our completion of the program for this RFP. Did you all realize the timeline, or am I mistaken on the timeline?
You may not be mistaken on the timeline. Tell me, based on your inquiry, how long you identified the Kaufman certification to take.
If I'm not mistaken, it was like a couple of months. I knew when I read it and I truly just glanced over it, that was going to be my number one question. It kind of stopped me in my tracks. I was like, wait a minute. I think it's going to take us longer to get that certification before the or after the deadline for this RFP.
So we can certainly we can verify that and take that back to the department for determination. But if you were on the call initially, I believe that Chidi Nietzsche indicated that the Kaufman Fast Track program is preferred, but he indicated that if there are individuals who, for instance, are on this call today, who have training expertise and are able to provide a similar program where they have had success, and you've been able to provide metrics that track and that the curriculum is comparable to the Kaufman Fast Track program, then that can be considered. So if you are looking at the potential of applying for Kaufman Fast Track certification because you don't have it at this point, then we can certainly take that back to the department to see whether they would like to extend the timeline for this request for application to allow persons who wish to seek the certification that opportunity to be able to apply. I don't know what the decision will be, but we certainly will be willing to take that back to the department for them to confer and then provide a determination.
So
Well,
if becoming a it says becoming a fast track affiliate, so I assume that is the pathway that we will have to take. And it says 60 to 90 days. Onboarding typically takes 60 to 90 days and is held monthly. Attendance is, yeah, for onboarding and training.
well, if I may, yeah, we do understand that situation with Kaufman, and I think the success that we derived out of the program was just, clear measures in terms of how we monitor, how we make sure that the program is on target, and how overall, the deliverables can be measured and tracked. So it's not only the department monitoring. The city also want to know how the money was spent and what the money was spent on, in terms of administration and, administrative costs and fees and things of that nature. So sometimes, you go with, what you know and then grow and maybe learn something new. So at this point, um, you don't want to be measured in a different approach. We have our measures, we have our targets, we have, the tools that, we're going to utilize to ensure that we are uh, going to do very well with our prospective applicant. So, um, if that is a way you can talk to Kaufman Foundation. Again, if you have another program that is overly successful beyond Kaufman Foundation, which is a tool that we're using, well, disclose that to us. We can take a look at it.
All right, thank you very much. Dr. LaDonna Spite, go ahead with your question.
Hi, good afternoon. A couple of the questions that I had have already actually been answered, but I just wanted to get a little clarity about the individuals that will be participating. So in the beginning, I know you said your funding now has opened it up to people who are not immigrants or who might be other individuals in Detroit that want to participate. But also, so we are to understand that some of those individuals might have limited English proficiency. And so that English might not be their first language at home or what have you. So will we, and if we do, will our agencies or the individuals that we work with, will we need to have people at our agency that helps them with that limited English proficiency as we're facilitating the program? That I just needed to know that. And I also wanted to know, does the individual do you have a base that we would come to, or do you want our facility to do outreach and bring them to us and actually train them at our agency for the entrepreneur program? So will we be like an MOU partner to this program? Or I'm just trying to get clarity about how the methodology would be for us to interact with the individuals participating.
So I'm
Yeah,
going to let Mr. Nietzsche respond to most of what you said, but I will tell you there is no MOU. There
Okay.
will be no MOU
Okay.
as a part of the consultancy for this program. So I'll let him speak to how the participants will be gathered.
Thank you.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Yes, you, if I call it a subrecipient or a vendor, will have that full responsibility of marketing, doing outreach,
Okay.
galvanizing your candidates to participate in the program. And that is just a very serious part of that program. The city of Detroit or our office will not market for you. We
Mhm.
want to see a very strong component of your marketing strategy. Immigrants, foreign languages, our office deals a lot with different languages, whether it's Spanish, whether it's Arabic, even African languages.
Mhm.
Again, that is how our office is structured. We are dealing strongly, strictly, in most cases, with immigrants. So, and if you go to Southwest, majority of the language that is spoken over there from residents there, just Spanish, from major. And then if you go to Northwest Detroit, South, Northeast, and so on and so forth, you are going to get a different population. We
Mhm.
deal with International Institute that deals with a lot of foreigners, and
Mhm.
so on and so forth. So that avenue of getting dealing with people with different languages. We have language access trainings that are even through our Creole department. So we want to make sure that those instruments are there to make your program successful. But
Mhm.
we are not going to be recruiting for those. It's going to be your job. If you look at the RFP, that is how it's tailored. We want to see, ensure that you have a good marketing strategy to get the word out to the people, in order to attract them to your program.
Okay, yes, okay. I think I understand that. Yeah, we work very heavily with with the Latinx population and with the Middle Eastern population and with
Yep.
anybody in the Black diaspora who identifies within the Black diaspora. I guess I just was trying to understand where if we needed another interpreter, would they come from this program or would we have to have every language interpreter that we don't, that the LEP at our agency already? Or that was my thing. So yeah, we do work with a lot of multicultural um, individuals at our agency. We're federally funded to do that. So, but I just wanted to find out the agency with the city of Detroit, if who would be doing that for the LEP population. And we don't have any problem. I just wanted to make sure so I can understand that part
Well,
of it.
like I said before,
Mm-hmm.
you can approach Creole department, to if you are seeking for language
Mm-hmm.
interpreter, or you can hire interpreter
Okay.
yourself within your organization, and it's an eligible cost. If you want to do that, that is going to be a part of your cost in providing the service.
Mm-hmm.
So, um,
Right.
and if there's going to be any help from our side, and we do face the same problem too. We have hired, few people with different languages to support what we do in a daily basis, because as you can hear me, i am I have an accent, a very strong one, even though I've been in the system for a long time. I've been in the country for over 40 years, yet my accent still trump some of the way I speak or the way so we here, if language barrier is
Mm-hmm.
another thing that we're trying to solve out of this here.
Right.
So,
Mm-hmm.
I encourage you, to do your homework. And if there is any way that we can be able to assist, we are open and available to support.
Okay, thank you
Absolutely.
very much,
Thank you.
Dr. Spies. Thank you very
Thank you
much,
so much.
Chidi. So now we have Alicia Haney. Alicia, you're on, and I apologize because uh, I'm I meant for you to identify yourself and the organization that you are representing. And so the others who identified themselves, you forgot your organization. We'll come back and we'll get that. But go
Okay.
right ahead, Alicia.
Okay. Alicia Haney. I work for the College for Creative Studies, and I'm representing our Design Core Detroit program. And I'm wondering um, how how many vendors are you anticipating? Is it it's not a single vendor, and how many participants are you anticipating? I'm trying to
Actually, it is a single award that
a
we are
single
looking to
award,
make. Yes,
and so that it has to be the recruitment is broadly all population,
yes,
right? Okay.
yes,
As you were talking in the last answer, I was hearing it as that you were reaching out to that each vendor was reaching out to their individual sort of contact network. So just clarifying that. How many participants are you anticipating? Like what is a successful number of participants?
Okay, can I answer that, Elizabeth?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Number one, it is only one award we are
Mhm.
open to receive,
Mhm.
and because our funding amount is limited.
Okay. Let me do an
Can I?
interjection. We're
Okay.
not disclosing the funds
Okay. All right. All right.
during this
Thank you.
conversation. I just want to be
Okay.
sure everybody understands that because there was a question in the chat asking
Mhm.
what the budget is, and we do not routinely make that disclosure. This is
Okay.
not a subrecipient opportunity. This is a
Okay.
professional service contract with
Mhm.
the city, again, using general funds. Just that clarification. Go right ahead,
Okay.
Mr. Nietzsche.
Okay. Only one award under
Mhm.
contract too. So that's it. We're not, we just make it open. Anyone that has interest to participate, please get your application in and we consider, we'll
Mhm.
review, we'll make a selection through our procurement team. And that is,
Okay.
simple.
And the program needs to be available virtually, in person, and in hybrid format. Is that correct?
We Okay, this is the reason why to me, as an individual,
Mhm.
uh, I will encourage hybrid approach. The reason for that is this: when we tried the waters, a couple of years ago,
Mhm.
the cities that did hybrid were able to um, train triple the number of
Right.
what we received as just in class. So
Okay.
we want to be able to make sure that we can be able to scale the number of outcomes if
Mhm.
possible. And hybrid will encourage you to do that. If the curriculum and the structure of the program is structured well uh, to help us get to the level of target number that we are anticipating.
And are you able to disclose that target number?
Oh yeah, in the RFP, it will give you the number of candidates for each cohort. We are looking at three major cohorts in the program, and each one of them around maybe about 25 to 30 individuals
Okay.
in one cohort. So from there, you can extrapolate how that is going to
Absolutely.
work out.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. And Carl, I see your hand is up, so now you can also identify the organization that you represent.
Okay, thank you. My name is Carl Stevens. I am the president CEO of Call Center for Hire LLC. We actually have a call center that we run that's based out of the city of Detroit, and I'm also a training provider for Detroit at Work and Michigan Works as well. My other question that I wanted to ask is that I routinely work with the DESC as well as Detroit at Work, and I was wondering if I was able to utilize candidates, potential candidates from these other city organizations to be able to generate, candidates to be able to attend the training programs that are going to be offered with this particular RFP?
There are no
Right.
restrictions on who is able to participate with the program. We hope that there will be, as Mr. Chidi indicated, individuals who are from low income groups. We do not want to discriminate against anyone. So if you have networks, based on um, your interactions in various ways with organizations, groups, agencies, those are resources for you.
Okay. Thank
There's
you.
there's no guarantee, right? But you do your outreach, as Mr. Chidi indicated. You do your marketing, and you see who you're able to recruit.
All right. Fantastic. Thank you.
Now I'm being mindful of the time.
Can I
So
add to that?
I was going to ask. Let's see, Chidi, after you make your additional remarks, for those who are still on the call, other than Cedric McCree, because he's going to introduce himself shortly. And let's see, I think I saw, oh, let's see, I don't see him now. I thought I saw Shafwan Ahmed on the call. I was going to have him introduce himself too. But I'd like to give everyone else on the call an opportunity to again indicate your name and the organization or agency that you were with so that we can record that as a part of this call. Go right ahead, Chidi. You were going to do a further response to Carl's
Yes.
comment about his network.
Yes. The reason why I wanted to add to his statement is this. Again, let me remind everybody that the big city do have large organizations like the workforce that do implement training programs citywide. This is a very small targeted unit within HRD that caters for certain population. And we try to make sure, even though we are not trying to discriminate, and I am encouraging anyone that want to participate to look at the population, those people that are here we are working with that are just under the radar. We want to make sure that we can be able to train them, educate them, so that they can go to work and add value to the community. I know the city population, I know low-income folks, communities or neighborhoods, but I just encourage you to pay specific attention to what this department is trying to bring to fruition. Yeah, if we have all the resources in the world, oh, I will not be going to do the work of workforce development team. No, because they are big, kahuna. They get big monies. Here is targeting a population that we want to, service and make them be a part of the growing community and not become a nuisance or something of that nature. That is what I'm trying to share. That is what I'm trying to encourage you guys to understand. Yes, you want to apply. Yes, we want everybody to join in, but look at that population. We are solving this problem with certain population. If you can bring 200 people that qualifies this population, hooray! I will join you. And if we are successful, we'll do it over and over and over again without leaving anybody behind. That is what I'm sharing.
Thank you very much, Chidi. So let's see. What I'd like to do real quickly, Karen Burton, I'm assume you're going to identify yourself and the organization you represent. I'd like to do that round with everybody before we address any other questions. And then there are some key response items that I must cover so that they will be a part of this recorded pre-application conference. So go right ahead, Ms. Burton.
Hi, I did have another question, but I can save that for later or submit it during the question time. But my name is Karen Burton. I'm with Space Lab Detroit.
Very good. Thank you very much. And we will come back to your question.
Thank you.
So I'm going to identify those who have already spoken so that we can make sure we have them. Bobby Burton, would you identify the organization or a group that you represent?
Yes, hello. My name is Bobby Burton, and I'm also with Space Lab Detroit and Space Lab Development.
Very good, thank you. And Dr. LaDonna Spite, the organization that you represent?
Yes, I'm Dr. LaDonna Spite, and I represent the Sisters Against Abuse Society. And the department I'm representing today is our Economic Empowerment Department, funded by Michigan Department of Health and Human Services and the Office on Violence Against Women.
Very good. Thank you very much. And so I'm going to call out some other names. Brandon Colvin. Are you still with us?
Yes, I am with you. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yes, I represent Coloring Gaming, and I also have worked with Build Institutes. Excuse me, I'm sorry, I just got a message. I also worked with Build Institutes entrepreneurship training program.
Very good. Thank you so much. And Mitzi Rudak.
Hi, I represent BCA 3.
Thank you very much. Hi, Bowman.
Good afternoon. My name is Kai Bowman. I I'm the principal for Clutch Consulting, but also the the co-founder of the Michigan Black Business Alliance.
Thank you very much. Shantae Dixon.
Yes, good afternoon. I'm Shantae Dixon, and I'm here representing the Great Lakes Women's Business Council, our Women's Business Center. And we are currently a Kauffman Fast Track affiliate. We've been rendering the Kauffman Fast Track for 2.5 years now.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Lakeisha Hancock. Are you still with us, Lakeisha Hancock? Okay, I'll come back to you and I'll also look in chat. Monique Mayers.
Hi, Monique Mayers with Clutch Consulting.
Thank you very much. Angel Mills. Oh, okay. I'm reading in chat. Let's see. Angel Mills indicates, oh, she didn't indicate what organ is. Oh, here it is. Coloring in the Game is the organization that she is with. And let's see, is there anyone? Tabitha Pittman.
Good afternoon. I'm Tabitha Pittman, CEO and consultant for Tabitha Pittman Coaching and Consulting.
Very good. Thank you very much. So I think that we have had those of you who are still on the call, everyone to represent yourself. And at this point, I'm going to do a quick pivot after I answer Karen Burton's question, or it may be appropriate for Chidi Nietzsche to answer it. So Karen, go right ahead with your question. Ms. Burton, are you still with us?
I apologize. Yes, I'm still here.
Okay, go ahead with your question.
Will the city be selecting more than one technical service provider, or will only one be selected for this RFP?
One award. And
one
this
award.
is not
Okay.
an RFP.
I'm sorry,
This-
RFA.
Yes, request for
RFA. Yes.
application. So yes, one consultant will be identified and recommended for award.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, great. And so I'm going to quickly go through these response items. I mentioned to you that in order for your submission to be considered viable, we need to receive particular documents. And the documents that are identified in our request for application, and I see, I will show that to you momentarily, is attachment A, the respondent questionnaire. It is a prescribed document, and in that document, we ask you to identify who you are, um, who your firm is, what your experience is. So we look for you to actually complete that questionnaire and submit it to us. The other document is attachment B, your application introduction, a solution approach. So this is your opportunity. Yes, you will have told us what your experience is in attachment A, but you will not have told us in that particular questionnaire what your approach is to training, how you have obtained your experience. We want to know what your expertise is. Who's a part of your staff? What's their expertise? Include their resumes. Give us your history. So this is your opportunity in attachment B to provide us with a comprehensive look of your organization. Now, we don't need it to be 180 pages. We want you to tell your story briefly, succinctly, comprehensively. So we don't have a page limit, but we want you to be reasonable in terms of what you submit. Now, if you have samples of particular items that you'd like us to look at, especially if you are not a Kaufman fast track user at this point in time and you have a comparable instrument, tell us what that is. Let us know how long you've been using it. Give us an idea of what the components are that allow you to identify the metrics so that you know that you've met success. You have an example in the request for application of attachment B2. Attachment B2 indicates the course schedule and it identifies the components that we would be looking to have included as a part of this project. So if you have a comparable training apparatus that you have used successfully that includes those particular components, let us know that. Share that information with us. Um, so in attachment B2, we've outlined for you what the project timeline might be for a particular the cohorts that comprise the modules that are part of the city's expectation. Attachment C, pricing. We ask you to use the pricing sheet that is included on attachment C. So we want you to fill that out. It's a Word document. That's a Word document. Attachment B is a Word document, and attachment A is a Word document so that you can actually type right into those documents, save them, and submit them to us. If you wish to save them and submit them as PDFs, that's fine, but you can submit them as Word documents just as we offered them to you. That's your prerogative. Attachment D, we must have the certificate of authority because we need to know who is authorized on behalf of your organization to submit the application. So the other items, the other documents that are on there, they're not required at this time. But if you are identified for award, they would be required. Now, there is one document in that attachment D that we do want you to complete or provide us at least with, let's see, if you have a income statement, we'd like to see your income statement. If you have a cash flow statement, we'd like to see that. If you have completed financial statements, we will accept those. We're looking for at least 3 years worth of financial statements to support the 3 years minimum of experience that you've had. Now, if you've had more experience than 3 years, wonderful. But we're looking as a threshold. We want to look at contracting with a viable, solid organization. So your cash flow statement, your income statement, your financial statements provide us with some of that benchmark information. So we are looking for you to include the certificate of authority and at least the financial statements for 3 years. As I said, if you don't have full financial statements, we will accept a cash flow statement or an income statement. Let's see. The
Elizabeth,
final thing that I'll mention to you is, yes, Chidi.
when you're done, I would like you to take me back to the pricing on the budget side.
Oh, yes, I'm going to open up all of those documents. I
Okay.
just wanted to quickly let people know what we expect them to submit with
Okay.
their application. So now attachment E, that's optional document. So it includes an example of our professional service contract. So in our professional service contract, if there is any language that you see that your organization or your firm might take exception to and want us to consider other language, we request that you submit that at the same time as you submit your application. You may redline it, you may mark it, but it needs to be submitted with your application. That way, we have in advance an idea of what you want our city's law department to consider if you are recommended for award. So let's see, I think I've covered those very quickly for you. So I'm going to stop sharing this part of my screen and I'm going to come in here and I'm going to open up our what is in Oracle. So Cedric, I'm not going to do what I've asked you to do, but I am going to give them a preview that you then will be able to move forward and give a bit more elaboration with. So just one moment while I open up our Oracle system. And by show of hands, is there anyone on this call who's not yet registered for this opportunity? You may have seen it on internet or in social media. We've advertised in quite a few places. Okay, so got 2 hands, 3 hands who were there. Great. So you're not yet registered, but Cedric is going to show you in a moment how you'll be able to go ahead and do that. All right, so I am going to open up. I'm going to share my screen in a moment. Actually, I'm going to share it now so that you can see what I'm doing to get where I'm going. So 18555, so 185550 is the document that is the request for applications, which is out to bid. The close date is April 28th, 2025. And I'm coming over to the overview section, and I'm going to open up these documents that we are looking for you to provide us with. So I'm going to open up first attachment A so that you will see what that looks like. I'm going to open up attachment B, attachment B2, attachment C, attachment D. And then I'll also mention to you that if any of your organizations are registered with our CREO department, our Civil Rights, Inclusion, and Opportunity department, if you are registered as Detroit based, Detroit headquartered, you need to submit either your letter of certification or your certificate that you would have received from the city's CREO department, Civil Rights, Inclusion, and Opportunity department. In that way, there are additional credits that are considered for any organizations that are registered with CREO as Detroit-based, Detroit resident-based business, Detroit headquartered business, Detroit-based small business, Detroit-based micro business. So if you are registered with the city in any of those capacities, you must submit your certificate or letter of certification. It must come in with your application. Otherwise, we're not able to consider it. Okay, so now I'm going to move over here and show you very quickly the attachment A. It says attachment A, respondent questionnaire. Increase the size a bit for you so that you can see that. We want your contact information, your background information as a firm or an organization, prior experience, 3 years of relevant experience from the last 5 years, supporting your ability to manage a contract of this size and scope. And if you have references, we want you to include those references here. Okay. In the likelihood that you were looking to use a subcontractor, you would identify who the subcontractor is. We'd then want to know what that subcontractor's experience, and that subcontractor's experience would need to be at least 3 years. It says here one relevant experience, but back to our request, 3-year minimum experience. So if you're using a subcontractor, we need to know what the 3 years of relevant experience within the last 5 years to be able to support a subcontractor. Part 2, respondent capacity. We want to know who your key people are. We want a resume for them. We want an organizational chart. And so, again, this is your opportunity to mention experience, but we want to know in attachment B how you would apply that experience. So I'm going to bear with me, Chidi. I'm going to get to
No problem.
the pricing momentarily. Let's see. Attachment B. Okay, so attachment B, as I said, this is your application introduction and your solution, your approach. So I'm going to increase the size for you real quickly so that this is your opportunity to tell us that this is your submission in response to this request for applications. You're going to just describe again your company, but here we're really looking at what your company's experience is doing the kind of work that we are looking for you to do as a training consultant for this entrepreneurial effort. We want to know what your commitment is to be able to perform this requested work based on the requirements. So you may be doing other things, but we want to know, are you going to have a dedicated staff just for this, that they're not going to do anything else but this? Or is your staff going to be multitasking? You need to let us know that. If you have any evidence of licenses, or as a couple of people asked about the Kaufman um, registration or the Kaufman certification, if you have the Kaufman fast track experience, or if you have other certifications for other comparable training curriculum and or software that you use for your training purposes. This is where you tell us all about it. So in here, you're going to address the solution approach, and that's going to be based on what is in our request for application and the statement of work. You're going to provide us with a timeline and our schedule. And I mentioned to you that we did include the course schedule as an attachment in this opportunity. And then if there is any technical information that you wish to share with us, do you use a software such as, well, I'm not going to try to mention the names, but if you have a software program that you use to do your training, indicate what that is and how you will then be sharing, so that if the city wishes to verify what you say you've trained, how you've done it, what the metrics are as a part of that, you will be able to provide evidence to us. So that covers that. And then here is, I'm going to go back to attachment B2 because that's the course schedule. But this is the pricing sheet that was included with the application, attachment C pricing. It says Startup Accelerator Program Fast Track Entrepreneurship Course. This is a sample budget. You need to complete the components of this sample budget and submit it to us so that we know what expenses are associated with your training application. And then I'm going to open that back up for you in a moment, Chidi, because I think you wanted to say something about that, but I wanted to show them B2 first.
Okay.
Let's see. Pretty sure I've got B2 open. Must be a PDF. Well, let's see. Let me do it this way. Oh, I think I had this open too long. Oh. Okay, so here is B2. This is a sample of the attachment we would be looking for you to submit something similar. This says course sample, of course, schedule sample, project timeline. So it's indicating what the topic sessions are that are a part of this. It's got dates in here in terms of timeline opportunity. So we would want to know what is comprised, and this is pretty much like a syllabus. So that's how you can view that. All right, I'm going to go back to attachment C, the pricing, Chidi, because I think you wanted to say something about that.
Yep.
Okay, going back to open that up again. Okay, go right ahead, Chidi.
All right. The budget line item structure this is just a good sample, and we put this in here so that you can utilize this, something like this to develop your own. But within that, scroll up a little bit. Okay. Now, that is one component that we just want to make clear. That is in the area of fund uh, leveraging. In the fund leveraging component, um, we want to make sure that when you are addressing the issue of in-kind resources, that you know how to position it. I'm going to give you one example. If you are hiring a doctor to provide in-kind services for your program, that the hours that the doctor will spend in assisting or working with you must be must be computed in a dollar and cents value or values, because this is if the doctor charges $200 an hour to provide service. So if the doctor is going to provide 30 hour of service, when you quantify that amount, that will show how much that doctor's work will represent uh, to the organization. So if it is not properly quantified, it will not be valid. It will not be used for computing the points when it comes to evaluation time period. Um, in previous experiences, I put it this way, under Kaufman Foundation, um, they would require, or under the program that they're bringing in, they will ask, are you bringing any other resources to the table? How are you going to complement? Sometimes we'll say, okay, match requirement, but because the city is prohibiting cash match, say one-to-one match. But in the past, the agencies that we have utilized to run this program, they were voluntarily matching the program with 50-50 or 100%, with their own other resources or their monies, and then quantified it. So again, our hope is to grow this program and scale it up. At this point, we are still testing the water. We did it before as a pilot program, but now we are growing, and we want to make sure that everyone understands the way this works. And if there is any question or questions along the line, you can add your own information, but this is a sample, typical sample, and nothing more than that. That's what I wanted to say.
Okay, and the only thing that I will say about that is if there are in-kind resources um, that your organization wish to identify, quantify for measurement and determination, as Chidi said, translated into a dollar cent value. Note that it's optional. It's not required. If you wish to, offer in-kind services, identify what they are, identify what the value is. But it is not required. Um, we just want to capture any additional, see where it says here, city budget. You're letting us know how much you expect to be paid by the city for your services. It says here, other fund leveraging sources and uses. You would identify any other sources, including, fund leveraging, that would be a part of the this is samplet budget outline. As Chidi said, you can prepare a budget that provides similar detail, but we do want to know administration cost. As I'd said before, this says program manager. If you're going to have instructors who were identified, then you'd indicate, that you have instructors here in addition to a program manager. So then it says here course facilitator. If that is, who is going to instruct the program for your group or organization, then you'd identify that. If there's more than one person, you'd let us know, and then you'd indicate what the costs are. So again, as Chidi Nietzsche said, this is a sample. Now,
Yeah,
I'm trying
yeah.
to be respectful of your time. I
One,
know
one more,
that we've
one more,
actually, I
one
was
more
going to
thing,
say,
Elizabeth.
I'm not going to close it yet. I just
Yeah.
want to say, for those of you who are on the call, who are able to stay for a little longer, we appreciate that. We do still have the Oracle run through that Chidi is going to do because I know at least 3 of you are brand new to this. For anyone else who has to go, know that it's recorded. And if you have to go, we're going to respect your time and I'll let you do so. But if you're able to remain, we'd like you to do so. All right, now go ahead, Chidi.
Okay. One more thing that I want to share. When it comes to structuring admin cost under the budget framework, we try to target. I think we normally share this when we are drawing up a contract. We anticipate the average between 10 to 12% of admin cost in the program, and some agencies may not even take any any admin. But when you work, you get paid. They just be mindful of that when you are setting up your budget for administrative cost, because the more money we tailor towards program cost or project cost, the more productive we are, or more result we can be able to get out of the program. So um, be aware and be mindful of that. Even though the city, in terms of fund leveraging, is not mandatory, but it's very, very much encouraged. We encourage you to look at what you can add to the value of what the city of Detroit is bringing to the table. That is good business approach.
Okay. All right. With that being said, I think I've gone through all of the documents. The document that I believe I shared with you what the contract document would look like. It is a part of your package. This is the document that if there's any language in here that you want the city to consider making changes, then this is the document that you would actually mark with redlining and submit with your program application. So I will look through for those. So you've got attachment A, you've got attachment B, you've got attachment B2, which is the course schedule. You've got attachment C, you've got attachment D. And then if you are registered with our CREO department, you must submit your CREO certification or letter indicating that you are Detroit-based business, Detroit headquartered, Detroit small business, Detroit micro business, whatever your certification may be. Some of you may be Detroit women certified business. Uh, that is fine. Did I see a hand? Let's see, I'm sorry. Coming back over here. Thought I saw a hand. Okay, with that being said, Cedric, I'm now going to turn this over to you. I appreciate your patience. Thank you very much. Oh, are you still with us, Cedric? You're on mute if you are.
Thank you. Yes, I am still with you. I'm Cedric
Okay.
McCree with the Office of Contract and Procurement. I just want to just show you very briefly the registration process. Let me take you, and I'll share my screen to our documentation, documentation, so that you can see for yourself how you can register. And also, I will just give some highlights on navigating the Oracle system. you can see my screen.
We can see your screen.
All right, thank you very much. For those who are not registered, let me try to get my cursor to work right here. For those who are not registered, you can register at our technical website by going to www. I'm sorry, that would be detroitmi.gov/supplier, and you would look for the segment that would say register here. When you do that, it is going to ask you to get an access number. That access number, you put your email address in, then press for send the access code. And I tried to make this bigger. I don't know if you can see the information that's in there, but send the access code. A code would be sent to your email that you would then come back and plug in. Once you plug it in, it would take you into a piece of software that will register your company's details. And so you would put the name of your organization there, where it's located, that it's in the country of the United States, your taxpayer ID, that is your federal EIN. You put that information in there along with some other prompted fields. If the ID is already, or your taxpayer ID is already there, that indicates your company is already registered. And you just need to come and get your information from the e-procurement group. We'd be happy to send it to you. Otherwise, it will advance you to define your contacts. And then, and that's basically your name and the user ID that you registered with. And you can define more than one. Then you can put your addressing in. And finally, you can indicate what your organization does by putting in a product and service code. Once you've done that, you can click the register button. You'll get a success, and you will get a subsequent letter telling you how you can set a password of your choice. More detailed information is there in that segment. Now, how to navigate the Oracle system.
Now,
You can,
Cedric,
I'm
I'm going to ask you
back.
to I'm going to ask you to pause for just one moment. You go. I'm going to share with them that front screen that you mentioned, so that they know what it looks like. So when you go on the city website, those of you who are still here who have not yet registered, if you go to the Office of Contracting and Procurement as a department on that website, there is a screen that is labeled Supplier Support. And in that screen, Cedric mentioned to you that you can get there by going www.supplier, is it / detroitmi.gov? Cedric?
Detroit www.detroitmi.gov/supplier and then supplier
Okay.
dash
So,
support.
so this is what that landing page will look like once you get there. And then you see here where it says register now. So there's a video here for you to know how to register. Then there's also a PDF that's here for you to know how to register. And then there's some classes that I sent. I sent a couple of people to you this morning, Cedric, who reached out to the Office of Contracting and Procurement earlier today. But there are office hours to learn how to register. Those are Mondays at 10:30, Thursdays at 1. Then there are office hours. These are live sessions with Cedric McCree and potentially one of our other e-procurement folks. How to bid, Mondays at 9:30. Office hours Friday at 9:30. So these are for live sessions with Mr. McCree or his partner. So I'm letting you just simply know that these resources are here, and or you can reach out for live support. Okay, go right ahead, Cedric. I'm sorry, I'm going to stop sharing my screen so you can share yours again.
All right. Now, to sign into the Oracle product or the supplier portal, you would put in to the sign-in screen your user ID, which is going to be the email address that you registered with, and the password that you set for yourself, and then you would click sign in. You may have a page that you land on welcoming you. If you do get that, you can get to this second landing page by just clicking the home icon. And if this is your first time through, please set your time zone in the appropriate manner. You can do that by clicking on Tools, Set Preferences, and under General Preferences, click Regional. At the bottom, you'll see your time zone. Mine is already set for Eastern Time by setting it to New York Eastern Time. If you use the pull-down arrow, you can look up and find New York Eastern Time. Click on it, then do a save and close. If
Now,
you do
why
not
I
set your
was,
time, you'll
yes,
be
thank you.
under Universal Coordinated Time, which is London, England time. That's a 5-hour difference, and you might miss an opportunity because your time zone and timing is 5 hours off.
And that's why, Cedric, I sent a couple of people to your workshop earlier today because they were telling me that this conference today, which is at 2 Eastern time, that it was going to be at 6 o'clock this evening. And I said, no, you were still on universal time. You need to change your time. Now, why is that important? Because if you don't change your time to Eastern, you will submit your bid late and we will not be able to accept it if you are thinking that it is 4 o'clock universal time, which is 4 hours later, which means it would be 8 p.m. on the 28th. It must come in by 4 p.m. Eastern time. Okay, I'm going to be quiet, Cedric.
No issue. To get back to where you were before, click the home icon and then click on the heading that says Supplier Portal, and you'll see that picture again. Now to go into your Supplier Portal proper, click on the Supplier Portal app, looks like a cassette tape. And in the middle, you'll have a dashboard. If you were sent an invitation, that is, the bid was sent out to you or the application was sent out to you, you can use this recent activity as a shortcut. I'm going to assume that you did not receive that being sent to you, that you can go to that shortcut, come over to the task screen here. It's over to the left. And you scroll down the list until you get to negotiations, that heading, and then you can click on search or view current bid opportunities to then go to the active negotiation screen where you can then put your bid number in or your application number. In this case, I believe that number is 185550, is it? Elizabeth?
You are correct, Cedric.
All right, thank you. I'm going to say, well, I didn't get an invitation, so I'm going to blank that field for yes, the default. I'm going to blank that out by choosing the space above. I didn't receive one, and then I'll click search, and you'll see that the negotiation is now shown at the bottom. Just click on the number. The number is in blue. That means it's a hyperlink. Anything that's blue means there's more data behind it. Once you click on that negotiation number, it'll take you to the cover page of this particular request for application. things that are on this cover page will include the time that this proposal is due out, in this case, 4/28 at 4 p.m., and also what time you have to have your questions in order to get them answered. It'll be listed here. More information as far as if there is some conference type, if there is some other sorts of information, you'll see them here. The other thing I want to show you on this page is that one of the ways in which you can send a message, actually, the way in which you can send a message is through the message facility. You would click messages, then click the plus sign, and you get a send message screen. Type in some title here. And then in the body, you can type your question. You know, question 1, question 2, and so on. Or if you like, you can put an attachment. You can mention that that's there. And then at the bottom, put your information, let's say in a Word document, your questions lined up in a Word document. Click this plus sign down here. To grab your Word document from your own system, click Browse. And then I'll just pretend any of these is that document. Double click on the document name itself. When the title fills in, say OK, and your document will be connected or uploaded here, and then click Send. Once you've clicked that, go back and click Done to go to previous page. Do not use these arrow keys up here. They belong to your browser. They'll take you out Oracle and you have to sign back in. So we just backed up one page here by clicking Done. And some of the information that you might have seen for attachments, come to the table of contents, click the overview. And on the overview page, you'll find those documents listed here where it says attachments. Right now, what I see is 8 documents. Here is one document name plus 7 more. If you click inside of those parentheses, you'll get a listing of those documents. Note they are hyperlinks as well. Please save them to your system because these are not fillable forms where you can just open it up, type some data, and then just do a save. Put them on your system, complete them as directed, as they've been stated inside. And once you've done that for all of these documents, you'll have the opportunity to upload those back when you click Create Response. The other thing that's on this page is that there is going to be a more in-depth summary of what the opportunity is about. You'll be able to read about it there. Next, there are some other documents which will be found in your requirements section. A summary of those documents are listed here, and you can download these to your systems as well and complete them accordingly if you don't already have it from the overview section. Now, when we go to create response, I will show you what this summary actually looks like once we get there, okay?
And
excuse me, give me just a moment.
They really don't need to complete those here because I've got the ones that I need in the attachment, Cedric.
Okay, thank you. So when all of your documents are done and you're ready to go forward, then click Create Response to interact with the system.
But
You'll
Cedric,
know that you're in an interactive mode.
I'm sorry, Cedric, even though they don't have to upload those here, would you explain to them on that requirements page that if they don't at least give us a response, they won't be able to submit to create their response?
I'm sorry, state again, Elizabeth.
On the requirements page, certificate of authority, it's in the attachment D documents that I included. If they
Yes.
if they upload their attachment D documents, they don't need to upload the certificate of authority on the requirements page. But remember the option they have, they can tell me that it's uploaded with the application submission.
Yes, we will get to that in just a moment. So when you come to the create response, you'll get a unique response number that's just for your organization. Those that are defined in your organization as a contact can get here. No one else can see your data or information. And you can upload your documents that you got from this section in the overview section, which mirror like the table of contents, here by clicking the plus sign, and you'll get a pop-up for you then to go to your own system and select your completed file. I'll pretend this is one of my completed files. Just double click on the name and the title will fill in. When it does, you can say okay, and your file is uploaded. Repeat that process until you get all of the files that you wish to have in this area. Once you're done there, you can move to the next circle by clicking next, and that'll bring you to the requirements section. In this section, you may have duplicates of what you saw in the overview because they may be in one of the attachment letters. If you do have that, you can indicate that you're not uploading it here because it's on the front page or it's in the overview section. But if there is some document that you do have that you do wish to upload here, select one, like upload it, click the plus sign, and like we had in the other area, and if the browse is not there, just click the plus sign again, click browse, go to the file you wish to upload, double click on it. When the title fills in, say okay, and your file will be uploaded here. And do that for all of these. Note, all of these have an asterisk in front of them, meaning that you've got to select A or B, but you cannot leave it blank. I believe Elizabeth has already explained some of the information concerning your equalization credits. If you should want to apply for any of those whose definitions are listed here, please upload them in the overview section. There is not a box here for you to click to upload it here in requirements. The other thing, and I believe we have an account, income tax and accounts receivable clearance, you can order the new forms or order updated forms by going to the income tax site that's listed here. Once you go there and you order it, indicate that you've completed that and then continue on with your submission. Do not wait for the form to get back. We'll reconcile it later, but sometimes it takes a longer time. We don't want this to close on you while waiting for those clearances. When you've put all of the forms in and answered the questions as you wanted to do, you can click next to go to the line section. And in the line section is where you would put the price information that you got, your totals from your price sheet here. And so for consulting services, other, and then educational and training section, services, I'm sorry. And I'm just going to throw some numbers in here. Just type in what your amounts are going to be. Do not put anything in the minimal response amount, leave that blank, and it will total these two lines for you accordingly. You can go to next to then review your information using these headings. Here in the overview section, here's what the two documents that we attached this time around. In the requirements section, here's the document we uploaded and any others. And in the line section is the values that we put for our response price. If everything is good, you can click submit and your application will be submitted. However, should you feel the need where you need to go back and you can't, and you feel you're not going to be able to do it in one setting, please save and close, and your data will be saved to be retrieved later. Now, how do you get back to your saved data? I'm going to say okay to get this message off the screen. Click done. And I'm going to go back to the task screen. So I'm going to click done one more time. Before we went to search and view current bid opportunities. But now that I've created a response, I'm going to go to manage responses. And you will then see inside of your response the name of your application, its number, and you'll see that your response is in a draft mode because you have not clicked submit. Go under actions to unlock your draft. Say okay, and you'll see that the lock disappears, and then click the tab that says revise. You'll be back to where you started when you did your save and close so that you can finish up your application. I do want to point one thing out to you. When you're in a draft mode, that means that your application has not been submitted. Once your application is submitted, once you click submit, it will change from a status of draft to active. And that's one way to check to see, well, did I do this submission? Make sure that it's active. You have up until the time of close, which you're not going to give yourself to get any place near that because you're going to do it early, to go back in either as draft or even if it's active and make changes until you're satisfied. But make sure that you click that final submit before the close date and time. And with that, I'll give it back to you, Elizabeth.
Thank you very much, Cedric. So we know that was a quick walkthrough. As I indicated, there are 30-minute training sessions that Cedric McCree and our other
Tracy Thompson.
Yes, Tracy Thompson offer. So again, if you want to attend the virtual sessions, those days and times happen on a weekly basis, Mondays at 9:30, Mondays at 10:30, Mondays at 11:30. They take place on Thursday afternoons. So you can see that schedule by going to that supplier page that I showed you on the city's website. So questions for Cedric regarding the Oracle system, getting registered, because I know that there were 3 of you who definitely said you're not yet registered. You found out about this opportunity, and I'm glad you were able to get the link to be able to join us this afternoon. But any questions that you have regarding getting registered or submitting your bid? Any questions at all before we close this session? Okay, I don't hear anything. Chidi, any final comments from you regarding this opportunity before we close it out?
Well, thank you so much, Elizabeth, for guiding every one of us through this process. Again, it's a pleasure sharing the information with the general public today. We are looking forward to strong application submission to this program. Again, I encourage every one of you to understand the population that we're trying to target and make sure that we can achieve it. I am also encouraging folks to understand that even though it's a small program, but we are growing it. We need your support. We do it well, we will do it some more. When we are encountering lower numbers in terms of production or output, it challenges the administration to put more money into the pot. So with all of that, please endeavor to strictly follow the process, the RFP process or the Oracle process to make sure that your submission is on time. The only thing that I also want to be clear about in terms of using other program outlets, other than the instrument from the Kaufman program, is hard to measure because with that program, we have a clear pathway in terms of how to measure what you're doing and what your submission will look like. So you should try your very best to at least share with us, show us how we can arrive to a measurable outcome in real time. That's all I have, and thank you everybody for participating.
Okay, very good. Well, thank you very much again, Chidi. And let me say, I indicated in the chat that again, if you want to certify with Kaufman Fast Track, you need to contact them directly. And based on the information that we received early on, we will ask the department whether or not they would like to extend this bid for those of you who want to get certified with Kaufman Fast Track if you're not already certified, that if it takes an additional 30 to 60 days, or I'm sorry, she said 60 to 90 days, if it takes 60 to 90 days to get certified, I will ask the department to let us know whether or not they wish to extend this bid to allow those of you who want to certify to get certified. I do know that there were a number of you who indicated early on that you have Kaufman registration and that you've been using it for a number of years. But as I said, for those who are not yet certified, we will make that inquiry, and via Oracle messages, I will send that notice to all participants who are there. Final thing I will say is for those of you who are not yet registered with Oracle, you may email me directly until you get registered because you don't have access to Oracle Supplier Portal to message me via Oracle messages until you get registered. So you may email me directly at Johnson, JOHNSONEA at detroitmi.gov. I will put that in the chat also. For those of you who are registered with Oracle, if you have additional questions, comments, or concerns after this conference is over, you may use Oracle messages to send your questions, and the answers that you send in, if they are questions, will be compiled and put on a Q&A for this opportunity, and I will post it for all participants to see. So with that, if there are no further questions or comments from you, we thank you very much for your time this afternoon and wish you very, very best in submitting for this opportunity, submitting your applications for this opportunity. Thank you again, and everyone have a great day. And thank you, Chidi, and thank you, Cedric.
You're very welcome, Elizabeth. Have a good afternoon, all.
All right, you do the same now.